Hello from the forge again. It's a little smoky in here, but it'll clear out in a minute. I need to replace my flue pipe to the forge, but haven't got around to it yet. So let's see what we can do. Today, I've got a piece of scrap leaf spring. Happened to find laying around. This is off of my old boat trailer. Had to replace one of the leaf springs, so of course, this may be good stuff, maybe not, maybe full of microfractures. We'll find out in a little bit. Once again, no design. We're just going to go to hammering and see what happens. Hope you enjoy. Thanks for watching. So since this is a spring, first thing to do is flatten it out a little bit. You can see that little divot I just pointed to. That's where the spring hanger set down into the spring. It's not really going to bother anything on this build. And I'm going to start on the handle end. Mainly because I'm not really sure what kind of blade I want to make at this point, so I'm giving myself a little time to think about it. Just working that down. Every few blows, lay it flat on the anvil and flatten it back out. Work it out to a decent length. Check length, make sure it's okay. Now we're gonna do our set down for the junction between the handle and the blade. Wasn't quite long enough, so I'm gonna make it just a little longer. I find it easier to, when I'm working on a piece of stock like this, to start from the handle end because blade's no good if you don't have enough handle. Now I'm using a cross peen hammer to start setting down for the finger well. Now I'm just going to use that piece of round stock to help shape the finger well. Flatten it back out. It's not deep enough. I'm going to have to do that some more. Check length again. Move right on to working the handle out a little more. Add a little more shape to it. I'm also lengthening the handle, working a taper from the blade handle junction back out toward the end of the handle. That length's pretty good. Not really happy with the shape though. It's going to take a little fine tuning. I think I want to make sort of a little recurve style fighter out of this knife. Haven't done a recurve type blade in a long time, and they're pretty challenging for me, so I feel like a challenge today. Start out by working the spine down, and of course that thickens the steel. Got to work it back down flat, keep it flat and even. Don't know if you can hear rustling around in the background of this voiceover or not, but it's because my wife and daughter are in the back room opening the million boxes that Amazon just delivered. I'm sure that's a common occurrence in many households out there. Make sure that the blade's flat, even. I've started my distal taper just a little bit. And I still need that point down more if I'm going to make a recurve fighter. Like I said, these are challenging, so I'm going to tinker around with this blade a little more than I normally would. Now I'm just using the step of the anvil to put a little backward bend in the blade. Move the camera around so we can see the horn, because I'm going to go to the horn and put a little more backward bend in the blade. And of course I had to drop it. You got to drop everything you forge at least once. And we'll start working the bevels out. Trying to keep everything centered. Draw that heel down fairly square. There we go, that's getting to be a little better. And once the heel's established, now we'll start working out a little farther on the blade with each heat. And that's going to force the bend back out of the blade. And when I get to the tip, out towards the tip, I'll start working my distal taper in more. And that'll start giving me that recurve shape that I want. It's starting that recurve now. That's actually pretty close to the profile I want on this blade, but my taper's not quite right yet, so I'm gonna have to do a little more work here. Not bad. Still needs a little work. Need to planish out all those hammer marks I made earlier, because all the shaping that I did with the round side of the hammer. Now I'm using the flat side to just take out the hammer marks. I don't want to fully grind this blade. I want to leave some of it as forged finish with just polished edges. I think I'm going to put a semi-sharpened false edge on the back. And the closer I can forge the finish, the less I have to grind, and I hate grinding. Pretty good. Straight. Pretty happy with that. All right, we're all in the house now, finished up at the forge. Finished the blade up. Gave it a little cleanup so I can make sure my temper colors are good. Ready to go through about a 7-hour tempering process. We'll put some handles on it. I think it's going to look nice. Thanks for watching, everybody. Be sure and leave a like, be sure and subscribe. Leave us a comment in the comment section if you want to see some future content. Thanks for watching. God bless and have a great night.